Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we're going to be carrying on our series. And if you guys remember, what we did on the last episode is that we have created this placement mode here that we can use. Right now it's a little bit buggy, so let's fix this bug and make sure that we can place this once we right click on the mouse. Right, so first thing I'm going to do here is that on the parts for, let me go back to the blueprints here. Let's go to building. Let's open up the base building, right? And I am gonna create a couple of, one event here called custom event, an event or a function. I am gonna create event is fine. API called called placing mode on, and I'm gonna have another one that is actually when we place it, the part called placing mode off, right? And if we need to move this into a function and then we need to override it, we can do it. But right now, I don't think we need to change much. We just need to make sure we disable collision. That's all we gotta do. So we're gonna get the box, right, here. And we're gonna set collision to no collision. Set collision. What's this? Get collision profile. Word static. Word dynamic. No collision. I guess. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna put no collision, and we're gonna get the box. And once we place it, we're gonna set the collision to collision enable. Okay. Now on the survivor controller, when we start to place this actor, we're gonna call the API set. Oh, this comes from, I see. Alright, that's fine. So we're gonna copy those two classes, compile and save. Let's go back to the base interaction. Meaning here, I'm gonna paste those here, right? We don't have the boxes anymore, but I'm just gonna create two functions that I can override, called fn and placing mode, and I'm gonna placing mode on, and I'm gonna create another one called fn placing mode off. And there you go. Nice. So now all you gotta do, let's just put this back. All we gotta do here is that we're gonna call the placing mode on and the placing mode off, right? And we can just say will be used. Will be used for the building parts. Compile and save this guy. Now we're gonna go back to our survival controller, and actually, we're gonna go back to our building base, and we're gonna override those fn mode off and fn mode on. So we're gonna go back to the mode to the off here, and if it's off, right, we are gonna enable the collision, and we're gonna bring the box actor. What's this actor? Okay, the collision, that's fine. And if we are, delete that, if we are on the placing mode off, on, we're gonna disable the collision. Now on here, we should be able to call the API, maybe, what is that? That's just, this is just the actor reference to this. Okay, that's fine. So let's create here interface to call this, and we can do this. So we're gonna go back to base interaction, interfaces. Let's create 2 more interfaces, 1 and 2. And we're gonna call this nope, I placing mode on and placing mode off. Compile and save this. We're gonna go back to the base interaction. We need to implement those 2 interfaces here. So it's the placing mode off and the placing mode on. And it's gonna call then here. Alright. I know it sounds like very complicated using interfaces, but for scenarios like this where you know you have to call the same function multiple times is very useful. Now I can call I placing mode on, right? And let's see if that will fix that collision issue that we're having. I'm pretty positive about this. Is not fixing that. Let me double check one thing. So I'm gonna go back to my base building here, and I'm gonna set the collision, set the collision here to, let's say, block, actually to no collision. Let's see if that's gonna work for the house. There's something that still has a collision. Maybe no collision. Is that the mesh? Okay. So the house, okay. So I'm gonna make sure this one sets to block all. So, okay, that's fine. So the collision was actually on the box, but we need to make sure that we enable that back. But anyway, okay, cool. Now we have this that we can place in stuff. So the thing that we're gonna do now is if I click it right here, it will actually stop moving this around, and we'll basically place this, and so my character can come in here and start to build stuff. What I want to do here as well is I want to be able to use my mouse wheels to be able to rotate this part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this right now. Is very simple, nothing too much complicated. We're going to just go back to the main. We're going to go back to the blueprints, and do we have any inputs? Yes. All right. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to create 2 copies of that, and I'm going to call this rotate up, and I'm going to call this one rotate down. Now I'm going to open up this here, yeah, and I'm going to add the rotate down and the rotate up, and we can use any keys, but for now let's use the, I think we can search for mouse wheel, mouse wheel down, and here we can search for mouse wheel up. Nice, cool. Now we're gonna go back to our survival controller, alright? And we're gonna create here on the inputs the EA mouse, how do we call this again? IA, oh yeah, okay, IA rotate up and IA rotate down. Right, cool. Now I'm just gonna create a very generic function to do this for me. So right now I'm just gonna basically call this placement mode, placing mode. All right. I'm gonna mark this as this different color, just so if you guys, when you have the source code, it's easy to spot this. And I'm gonna create another function in here, all right? And I'm gonna create it a custom event, and I'm gonna call API rotate part. And I'm just gonna call this, I'm gonna have is up, right? And it's gonna be a boolean. And what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna get the placing actor, and we're gonna set the rotation. We're gonna set the actor rotation. And first of all, we need to get the actor rotation, and we're gonna plus add make rotator add rotator split the structure make rotation make rotator. Okay, that's fine. So now what we need to do here is that, let me go back and let's see which one is the axis that we need to rotate. So for example, we need to rotate this blue one, which is the z-axis, right? Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the z-axis. So we need to get a z-axis in here, and we need to basically do this plus, and here's where we have to do a select, and here's where things get tricky. Not tricky, but it's just a nice way to do this. But if it's up, which is true, I'm gonna put, I don't know, 20 degrees. If it's down, we're gonna put minus 20, right? So we're only gonna rotate the yaw. And one thing we gotta do here that I also forgot, it's that just make sure it's valid, because we may end up in a situation where we rotate something that's not valid. And we can even do another safe checking here, which is basically this one here, where copy this, copy that, paste it. Are we in placing mode? If we are, then we do this. Otherwise, there's no reason why to do that, right? Cool, nice. Now on those here, right, all we can do is that we can call, once it's completed, call API rotate part, and this is up, and this one is gonna be down, so it's fine. Now we're gonna write here and say rotate the placing part up or down, like this one here, compile and save that, and let's see what's gonna happen. So if I go back in here and press the house, ooh, look at that. I just noticed that for some reason it's only going in one direction, even if I change the mouse. So there is a bug in there. Let's see what's going on. If it's false, we put minus, actually. Okay. I am gonna do maybe a select here. I'm gonna put this one is up or down. So we're gonna do 20 if it's true. It's gonna align the stuff. But if it's false, we're gonna copy this, we're gonna paste it, and we're gonna do minus 20. And we're gonna plug this one right here. It's not like, I think it's a good way of doing this. It's fine. For some reason that wasn't working. I think it's because the math it becomes like plus. So let's see, up, down, up. So it's still not going up. Let me check Ah, okay. Of course. The on one is down. We need to do that. So let's see if that works. Up, down. Alright, that works. So I think what we can do here is we can stick with the, well, just to simplify this a little bit. We can do this one here, right? We can do that, sorry, we can leave the whole plus thing here. And we can just do a select on a float and pk, so it's gonna be 20 and otherwise it's gonna be minus 20. So what happened here, go back to this, up, down, there you go, it works as well. Maybe the rotation is quite, maybe we can improve that a little bit by maybe putting on trigger. Or that's a bad idea. Let's check. Up, yeah. I think it does, yeah. It is a little bit better. So we can rotate this part up and down. Alright, I really like this. This is quite cool. And you guys can see with this idea, you can like build a, you can create a city builder in no time with this. So I think what I'm gonna do here, maybe 10, maybe that's too much. I'm just gonna put 10 because I'm using the marks on the ground to help me. You see these cubes. So for example, if I want to do something modular, I want this part to be aligned to that, which it is. I want that part to be aligned to this, which it is, and yeah, pretty much it is. So I know it's going to be annoying to rotate this, and you have to scroll quite a lot. So what we could do here even is that we can put 50. Maybe 50 would be, would that be good? Let's check. Or maybe 25. I'm going to leave us 10. Just because this is development mode. You guys can go ahead and play with the values and see which one you find that's the best. Now we need to make the logic to place this stuff, right? We need to actually, okay, I'm gonna place this actor right here. I want to enable the collisions. I want to do all sorts of stuff when I click. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is that when we left click the mouse. Alright, so here is when we draw the debug sphere and all the stuff. So here, when we complete the click, we do that stop montage and all this stuff. But what I want to do here is that once it's cancelled, I want to get, I'm gonna create an event here. I'm gonna create a custom event called API stop placing mode, and I am gonna set this guy to false, and I'm gonna get this actor and I'm gonna just destroy because nothing happened. At this point nothing has happened, and also that's it. That's all we need here, to be honest. That's really simple. We can just go back in here and we can do that stop placing mode. We can probably do that one. Yeah, that's fine. And we can compile and save. And let's see what's gonna happen. So if I go back here, house, right click, and then it moves that. Now, oh, where is that? Destroy actor. Yes, okay. I want to make sure that is valid as well. That we only want to destroy something that exists. And one quick thing here as well, guys, that I want to do is that if the player is in placing mode, let me check if there's a problem. I don't think that's a problem. Like I was gonna say that if you right click while in placing mode, you don't have to walk, you just stay still, but it's fine. I think if you right click to go there, you probably want to go there. It's fine. But if you want to do this, you can just do a check in here, like you know, is placing mode true, and then you do the you don't run this, you don't run this stuff. But anyway, cool. The next thing that we're gonna do is the placing part, right? To place the part, we are gonna basically, so we're gonna do this here, and I'm gonna create a logic here called custom event. I'm gonna call API place part, and all the place part's gonna do is that is gonna call this setting the place mode to false, and it's gonna get the actor, and it's gonna call the placing mode off, because remember this placing mode is the base building here that we run on the base interaction off. So it runs that, which runs the interface here, or which on our base building, that thing is just set the collision to enable. Now we can compile and save this. And what we can actually do is that we can get the placing actor and we can set this to nothing. Compile and save, and there you go. And now I think let me just double check. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a check that we only want to continue if this is true, if we're actually having a part to place. Otherwise, there's not much we can do about this. So what I'm gonna do here is that on here, which is when we click, I'm just gonna call that, do it like this, and let's see what's gonna happen. So if I go back, click on this house, click right there, part stays there, stay here, which is really good. I can see the collision is working, and I can build the house. Look at that. That's really, really cool. So I can actually build a place that our character is going to stay. So let's see if I can build a bridge as well. So actually, let's build a house facing this direction. And if I go back in here, cool, let's build a house. And boom, house is built. Look how cool is it. It's a really cool thing. I think this is I think you got an achievement here. Congratulations if you managed to get to this part of the video. This thing, it's basically like you kind of have a bunch of mechanics in here to create a very simple game, and I love to do this kind of stuff. Like this kind of games for me, like RTS, is where you collect wood and increase these parts and you build things. It's so cool to see. And with this base here, you should be able to create a survival where your health decreases, and you have to do a bunch of other things. We are not done yet with this series. We still have a couple more episodes to go, but at this point you should have a lot of mechanics to help you create a very simple game. The next thing that we're gonna do here is that we need to make sure that the player has the resources to build this stuff. So if he doesn't have a resource, we need to tell that, okay, you don't have a resource somewhere. Maybe we could flash that, or things could get like in a red color. We could even do this so it gets red, but I'm gonna think about this in a second. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next one.